And Supra immediately sacks the knight. This is the Halloween Gambit. Supra playing the Halloween Gambit. He's striking with the pawn. This is absolutely unworldly. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Full Strive Chess Tournament. This tournament is going to be 3 total rounds. There are 8 participants in this tournament, and we are in for an absolute banger. So sit back, relax, and enjoy these tournament games. And we are underway for the first match of the Full Strive Chess Tournament. We have e4 on the board, and for this tournament specifically, we are testing out a new format. We are doing 5-minute blitz with no bonus time. Our normal tournament format usually consists of 3 minutes with 2 seconds of bonus time, but we are going to experiment with this new format and see where it takes us. And we are coming in hot early. We have a 4 knights game played by Mongo and Exploring Chess. Exploring Chess now strikes at the center with d4. Mongo very maliciously takes the pawn on d4. Knight takes, and just like that, in the mere blink of an eye, black has the advantage. But it is still very early. We are currently on move 6, and Mongo pushes the pawn here. I feel like, it looks like he's trying to get his bishop into the game, and apparently that is an inaccuracy according to chess.com. 3 million ELO stockfish. Ooh, and apparently that was a bad move too by Mongo, but honestly, I couldn't tell you why. And so white now castles. And now I wonder if white, so if black takes the bishop here, white's going to take back with the knight. And after this happens, Mongo has, I feel like Mongo should have tried to get the bishop into the game first. Oh, so he moves the bishop up now. It looks like he's trying to castle now. I feel like that's very principled. I feel like that does make a lot of sense. Now, if this pawn pushes, and let's say black takes, we get takes, so that doesn't work. However, the rook could eventually come into the game too, and it could get very, very dicey very, very fast. Now, how is this one going to go? So now white strikes and moves the bishop over to g5, attacking the knight and x-raying the queen. The bishop is still covering this diagonal, so it looks fine as it stands. Now black pushes the pawn, trying to kick the bishop out, trying to get the bishop to either take, move back, or just screw off completely. And the bishop does move back, and apparently that is an inaccuracy. But to the naked eye, it looks like it's fine. Ooh, and now Mongo might have some threats brewing here. Ooh, and now this is kind of dangerous. This is checkmate brewing. Mongo needs to make sure he spots the checkmate here. I feel like Mongo should castle here. I think castling is the best move on the board. It is. Castling is the only move that saves the game and does not give white an advantage, according to the eval bar. And Mongo finds it. Well done by Mongo. This is turning into a very tricky game. Both players are coming into the middle game now. A pawn does fall off the board, but it appears to be a poison pawn. Because if black moves, it says rook b8 right off the gate. If rook b8, queen takes, and then the rook comes down, takes, and now the rook is threatening all on this 7th rank. So Mongo needs to do a little bit of thinking in his head here, and he needs to understand. I guess you could play queen b8 too, but I feel like that could be catastrophic potentially, because queen takes, rook takes, and then white can push the pawn, or actually the white could just move the bishop back. Actually, so Mongo needs to play rook b8. Rook b8 is the best move on the board as it stands. A very, very important move here for Mongo, and he is doing exactly what he should do in this spot. He is taking his sweet time. I preach this to all beginners in the chess Discord. Ooh, and Mongo takes the bishop. Was that I think it was the knight. Mongo takes the knight on c3. I did not have that one on my bingo card. Ooh, and white is forced to take with the pawn, and now white has double pawns here. So how does black get out of the situation? Black is down a pawn, but according to the eval bar, he is doing just fine. It is not a devastating position as of yet. But Mongo has some questions to answer. The best move on the board here would be queen f6, according to the engine, or bishop b5. And that is crazy, because takes, and then, that is actually insane. I don't think Mongo will find that one. Instead, he vouches for bishop e6. All right, so Mongo is now, oh my god, and white takes the pawn, but apparently that's a blunder too. But to the naked eye, I don't see why. Oh, because the bishop slides down, maybe? No, it says rook b8. It still says rook b8. The engine is screaming rook b8. Rook b8 keeps the position dead locked. Can Mongo find rook b8? Also, queen g5 could be an option. Right here, perhaps. And you could also play c5, apparently. Striking. And Mongo does find that. Ooh, and I like the idea. And it looks like he's trying to get the rook into the game now. This could get very dicey very, very fast. Okay. Mongo needs to be very, very careful. Also, I'm going to check and make sure these goons aren't in the stream chat real quick, because I've figured out a way to check. All right, both players are out as it stands. And welcome to the stream, guys. If you're just joining us, this is the first match of round 1 of the full Strive Chess tournament between Mongo and Exploring Chess. Now the queen slides down, a very principled move, I would say. And as it stands, white has a slight 1-point advantage on the eval bar. Ooh, and the engine did not like that move, because the rook now slides, and now this pawn is going to be striking, and it's going to be striking fast. Ooh, and now Mongo's looking to threaten. And now the pawn pushes. Ooh, but apparently that is bad too. Now what happens if Mongo moves his queen here? If Mongo moves his queen there, could that be a forced mate here in a moment? If I'm saying if white, like in my head I'm thinking if white takes, this could potentially be a forced mate. Oh, actually maybe not. Oh, but no. But white moves the bishop down. And Mongo is threatening. Oh, wait, no. It's covered because after the pawn pushes, then the queen will cover this entire back rank. Ooh, that is a sneaky maneuvering. And now the pawn strikes. How does Mongo survive this? Exploring Chess has Mongo on the rails. It is a plus 2.4 advantage as it currently stands. Ooh, but that looks like a mistake. Now I think Mongo should take the queen. I think Mongo should take the queen, get the queen off the board. This pawn is also hanging right now as it stands. And the bishop will be forced to take here. And so this rook will be vulnerable. So I'm thinking you maybe try and get the rook off this rank, because obviously you probably want to keep material on the board for as long as you possibly can. And Mongo is now at 1 minute on his clock, and he does not get any bonus time for this format. He needs to start moving faster. Exploring Chess doing exceptional on the clock, exceptional in the position. He is at a plus 2.2 advantage on the eval bar. How is this one going to end? Do not leave for a single moment, ladies and gentlemen. Anything can happen in this position. Now, what does white play here? The engine is calling for a4, perhaps. a4, defending the pawn because the bishop is currently stopping the pawn. It also says queen takes on c7 and rook bd8. Wait. Yeah, rook bd8. Wrong rook here. And white finds the best move. Nicely done from white. And now Mongo slides the rook over, and it is getting worse and worse in this position for Mongo. Can Mongo stave off and survive and win this match against all odds? It is looking very, very tough today. Now the queen takes on c7, and how is this one going to end? Anything is possible here. It is a +3 advantage now for white, though. Mongo needs to find something, and he needs to find something fast. Time is of the essence, though. He is now at 34 seconds on his clock. He needs to start playing with pace. And these rooks need to stay together. That's very, very important. But what do you do here if you're black? White is suffocating the black position. This entire file is open for the taking, and Mongo's clock is dwindling. He is now below 20 seconds. He is in the red. Mongo needs to move. What is Mongo thinking? He's now at 11 seconds. Mongo is crumbling. Oh, it's devastating. Mongo has frozen. He slides the queen back, but with 1 second on his clock. It looks like Exploring Chess is going to be our first round winner. And white moves the rook over, and Mongo loses on time. A brutal game for Mongo, but a stellar performance from Exploring Chess. Everybody in the stream chat right now, tell Mongo GG's. Everybody tell Mongo GG's in the chat right now. Everybody tell Mongo GG's. Right now. GG's. Everybody tell Mongo GG's. And we're watching from black's perspective this game. We alternate between white and black. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game 2 of round 1. In this game in particular, Supra, who is playing with the black pieces, will be giving Adi a 2-minute time advantage after his third move is played. Chess.com requires you to play 3 moves before you start initiating this time advantage, or else it will force you to abort the game. And to start the game off, we have a closed Sicilian defense. And we do this when we don't have enough participants and we want to try and keep things fair for everybody. Adi is a a very much a beginner in the game of chess, and we try to keep things as fair as we possibly can. However, I think Super will be just fine as he is a very, very strong player. So while we are waiting for Super to let his time run down to 2 minutes, I would just like to tell all of you, we host these chess tournaments twice a week, and we have 4 chess tournament formats. We have a sub 1000 ELO tournament, we have a 1000 ELO to 1500 ELO tournament, a 1500 ELO to 1900 ELO tournament, and we also have a 1900 ELO tournament plus. Every single week, I post a poll in our tournament sign-up channel, and those who can participate in our tournaments, we have them vote, and whichever format has the most tournament sign-ups will be the tournament of the day. We host these tournaments on Tuesdays and Fridays, and all you have to do to participate is hop in the Discord server, join, and that is that. And our Discord server is really awesome. We have a chess dojo, we have daily checkmates. We are about to launch a chess rank system, which I will be announcing here probably after today. I'll give you all a little bit of a tease, and those of you that are already in the Discord server. But essentially, it is going to be ranked, and based on how you perform and how you get better in chess, how you participate in the server, and all that fun jazz. So, if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, I highly, highly recommend you check it out. The link will be in the description down below. And if you are in the stream chat, one of the mods will post a link, and all you got to do is click that link, hop in, sign up for the tournaments, participate in our events, and join the fun. It is a chess bandwagon, so get on it while you still can. So with that being said, y'all, Supra is now at 3 minutes, and we are underway. We have a close Sicilian defense, and Adi responds with d3. Supra develops the knight to c6, and we are coming in hot fast. Let's get that eval bar on screen for you guys. And Adi is playing a very, very, very structured and principled game so far in this one. And Supra strikes with the pawn, a very bold move. In a normal game, it looks like that is almost like overextending, almost, but the engine called for it. So well done by Supra. Supra playing a very, very nails and strong and potent opening so far. However, there is a lot that can happen in this one. And I am going to say this to somebody in the chat. While Full Strive is commentating on the games, please do not speak to him. He is commentating. If you have a question, ask a mod. I'm not going to say your name, who you are in the stream chat, but please don't ask me questions in the stream chat while I am commentating. Anyways, back to the action. We have Supra with a plus 1.1 advantage on the eval bar as it stands. However, it is not very clear. I would guess, and the engine says that is a catastrophic move from Supra. I think the engine actually wanted him to castle. But apparently that is a devastating blunder by Supra. Due to the fact that this pawn, what was it, this pawn? Something was hanging there. No, it was the bishop. The bishop was hanging. And the bishop is hanging again. Can Super find it? The bishop is hanging. Oh, and he misses it again. He needs to play queen. And white is winning now. Ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. This game is already getting very, very hot, very, very fast. Oh my god. And now the knight is blundered. Because when the bishop takes with check, the knight can take right back. And now the bishop is going to take the bishop. And Supra has the lead with a +2 advantage in material and a +3 advantage on the eval bar. But how does this one end? Anything can happen. Supra with a massive time difference. So Adi needs to play fast and play to his advantage. Start getting your predictions in. Mods in the stream chat, if you know how to make predictions, start making predictions now. Who is going to finish this game? Will Supra hold on to win, or will Adi pull off the unthinkable upset? Drop your predictions now in the chat. Who is going to win? And Supra striking with a check on a5. But Adi doing a very, very principled thing, blocking with the pawn. I honestly love this move. Now the bishop slides back, and the position is even now because the queen can slide. And now the queen can slide here. You wouldn't go there because the pawn would take. The queen can slide here, and now it's going to be check. But apparently that is a devastating mistake. Oh my god. Supra cannot go bishop e7. Good move from Supra. Good move. If Supra would have gone bishop e7, it would have been checkmate in 1. The move popped up on screen. So how does this one conclude? And how does Adi... So Supra does have the advantage now. And it is a devastating blunder because the queen is going to get pinned to the king. And Supra is going to win. Adi with a crucial tactical error. And and the king takes, and now Super has a +5 advantage in material. A devastating blow. Can Super hold on to win this one with 1 minute and 39 seconds on his clock? It is quickly turning into a bullet time format for this young man. The bishop takes, and now the bishop is threatening this bishop while also attacking here. If I'm Adi, I'd probably, yes, that's exactly what I would do. I'd probably try and keep the bishop on the board for as long as you possibly can. When you are down material, it is pivotal that you try and keep material on the board as long as possible. If I am Adi here, I am probably sliding the bishop back here. I would probably slide the bishop back here, defend this pawn, and then castle. However, I think castling is also fine in this spot as well. Super needs to be careful, though. The king is in a very vulnerable spot. Eventually, the rook could come in, and he could create a discovered attack and attack the queen here. And that could prove very, very devastating for Supra in this position. And Adi does just that. Now Supra does a very good job recognizing that there is a pin created by both his opponent's piece and the piece blocking the check. And he does a great job getting on a light square. And it's also very important when you get into low time control that you are making sure that whenever your opponent has a, let's say a dark squared bishop, for example, it's important to keep your king on light squares, keep your pieces on light squares for as long as you possibly can, because it creates less stuff you have to think about. Now, barring the position will require more things, more times than not, different things. And Supra just straight up takes the bishop, sacking the rook, while also creating a check with the bishop. It is extraordinary! An extraordinary play by Supra! And now the queen is going to be coming in, and checkmate will be brewing in 7 moves if Supra can find the winning calculation. And he is now down to mate in 6. Can Supra finish this game off? Mate in 8. He doesn't quite find the best move, but Supra takes the rook. And now checkmate is coming, and it is coming in fast. There is nothing you can do to stop this. The king can take the pawn. However, the queen's just going to go right back here. And the king's going to go here, and mate's going to be brewing, and it's just going to be completely and utterly over for Adi. A well-fought game from Adi, but I do not see him coming back. Supra with a very, very calculated and solid attack, but it proves that there is, in fact, levels to this game that we all love. Adi, I am very grateful that he participated in this tournament, but Supra is on the cusp of finishing this one off in style. Check delivered with the queen. There is one move on the board, and now that was mate in 1 here. This was mate in 1. Now you go here, and checkmate will be brewing on move 45. And in this position, Adi resigns. A very heroic performance from Adi, but Supra proves victorious. And we are underway for game 3 of round 1 of the Full Strive Chess Tournament. We are requiring Mr. Chess Dungeon to wait 1 minute after his 3rd move is played so we can give a bit of a time odds to Neno, who is a much lower ELO rated player. And let's get that analysis on the screen. And while we are waiting for Chess Dungeon to make his 4th move, if y'all want to participate in our tournaments, join the Discord server. It's literally that simple. We have the best chess Discord on the entire planet. And I just said this to the stream chat, and I'm going to say it again. My goal as a chess content creator is to help as many people as I possibly can learn and improve at the game of chess. I love the game of chess. I know you love the game of chess, and I want to see all of my homies win. That is my goal. I want to see every single person on this entire planet. I think every single person should be playing chess, and I think that it is possible that everyone could be 1500 ELO rated. And I want to prove that to you. And all you got to do is join my Discord server, and I will help you get there. The link is going to be in the description down below if you're watching on YouTube. And Mod will send you a link in the Twitch chat if you want to watch, or if you want to join through the Twitch. But with that being said, guys, let's get underway. This is a BOGO Indian defense, and Chess Dungeon is going to be playing his next move here very shortly, and he does. He plays bishop d2. Now black falls back with the bishop, and Chess Dungeon strikes with the pawn. But it immediately blunders a pawn, apparently. Oh, it's a crippling blunder by Chess Dungeon. A pawn has fallen. Chess Dungeon immediately blunders the pawn. And now the pawn strikes at d5. The best move now is to take the knight to take on d2. I think knight should take on d2. You can also play knight c6. Knight c6 here. Ooh, and apparently that's a bad move. Oh, but this is all over the place. Okay. So now the knight's being attacked, and now the pawn strikes on f5, pushing the pawn forward. Now what do you do here now? Now the knight jumps forward. Oh, but apparently that is extremely bad. That is very, very bad. And black is striking on all fronts. And Chess Dungeon, our current reigning Full Strive Chess Tournament champion, is on the ropes early. Can he find a way to navigate this and stave off elimination in round 1? Stay tuned and find out. Ooh, that would have been tricky if the pawn would have taken. Now, okay, so what do you do now if you're white? Should white push the pawn here, perhaps? Maybe? Apparently, so the engine's saying that's a mistake by black. Chess Dungeon using a little bit of time. Chess Dungeon is... but apparently that is crippling. And the best move on the board there would have been Queen d4. And Queen d4 is still an option, because when the queen gets in, the bishop is pinned. And Nino finds it. I need to make sure he's not in the stream chat really quick. He better not be in the stream chat screen peeking. Nino! Oh my. This is not good. And Nino resigns. See, guys, this is what I mean. This is why I have these very strict rules in my chess tournaments, because I try to keep sandbaggers out. So the show must go on. We're going to give Chess Dungeon the win. And we are underway for the final match of round 1 of the Full Strive Chess Tournament. We have a very, very, very good game ahead of us. We have Katie representing the black pieces, Captain Bill representing the white pieces, and we are starting off hot fast. We have Captain Bill in very familiar territory, playing the ready, and he is sitting with a plus 0.8 advantage on the eval bar. Katie doing a great job trying to get this bishop out. I honestly really like that. Then maybe perhaps try and fianchetto the bishop, perhaps. You don't necessarily have to move the bishop back just yet. I don't know if I really like that move very much, because you do have to take with the pawn. Now this pawn will be isolated, and then actually good. That's a good maneuver from Katie according to the eval bar. Okay, so now queen takes, and now pawn takes, and now this bishop has to go. Bishop has to go. Captain Bill is going to give Katie the best game that he possibly can. Let's see how this one plays out. So the bishop is going to have to slide back now to b3. Ooh, but he slides back to d3, and apparently that's a bad move. And now Katie immediately develops the bishop to g4. And Captain Bill slides the bishop back. And honestly, I honestly think you should probably castle here. The engine calls for a castling on one of the moves. That's move 3. You can also play queen d6, apparently, right here. Queen d7 could be a good move. Nothing with the knight. And Katie takes the bishop, or takes the knight. I honestly do not hate that move. I think that move is fine. And so now Katie has to be careful and keep an eye on this pawn. This pawn is very, very important right now. And I honestly like that. It looks like she's trying to push this pawn now. And the queen could potentially come in here eventually, but like you're not too worried about that as it stands. You have defenses on that file. Now Captain Bill strikes with the queen, moving the queen down to a5, and I honestly do not mind in the slightest pushing the pawn to c6, because when the queen takes, the rook will take. And you're also getting rid of a attacker on this pawn. And Katie pre-moves the takes. Very, very nicely done. Very nicely done. So now the rook slides over to c1. And could somebody please speak to Star in the chat? He's saying a lot. Somebody explain to him what happened. So now the pawn pushes to b4. And this game, this game is very, very even. A very, very structured pawn chain from white. A very structured pawn chain from black. Now, how do you strike, and how do you finish this position off and win the game? So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, so Captain Bill looks like he's really, really trying to push down this file. I honestly don't mind that in the slightest. I'm thinking maybe you castle now and try and get the rook over here, perhaps. Try and get the rook in the game, try and create some threats. make Katie have to answer some questions. And Captain Bill now with 3 minutes and 20 seconds on his clock as it stands. I would like to remind you as well, this is a 5-minute blitz game with no bonus time. So, all right. So the position is very, very even. And remind you as well, this is a ready opening, ready gambit accepted, is what the engine says. And Captain Bill moves his king to e2. Who in the right mind is playing king e2 in that spot? I know I certainly am not. What does Captain Bill have planned here? We're going to have to wait and find out. Katie is using a little bit of time to think here, as she very wisely should. When you get in these tricky spots, it is completely deadlocked in material, completely deadlocked on the eval bar. But who is going to reign victorious in this bout? So Katie now slides the rook over to a8. And I feel like a very, very insane move is about to happen here. I feel like Captain Bill's going to do something diabolical in the next 2-3 moves, if I had to predict. Let's see here. So now Captain Bill slides the rook up. Knight moves forward to f5. And now Captain Bill doubling the rooks up, trying to create a very big threat coming down here. And Katie moves the knight to h4, and this is a inaccuracy because, oh no, but apparently that's the wrong move. And there's a quick exchange of the knight and the bishop, and Captain Bill has the slight edge in the position. I'm assuming it's because of his pawn structure. His pawn structure is slightly better. And now Katie moves the rook over, and now you can, oh, and Captain Bill could put, I'm at a loss of words. Oh, it is not good. It is not looking too good for Katie. Is Captain Bill going to finish this game off? No way. Now the pawn pushes to h6, pawn takes, and now Katie is going to be down a pawn, and it is going to be a devastating loss of a pawn because these two pawns are going to eventually fall as well. I honestly don't want to take the rook there. I'd probably slide down here. Ugh. Actually, that would have been bad too because then you would have doubled up the rooks eventually. Now the king slides over. Katie is on the ropes. Katie needs to figure out some kind of maneuvering to save the position, but it is looking more and more grim as we progress. Is there any hope that Katie can salvage the position and rescue a draw at the bare minimum? I honestly love pawn pushes to e4. But the engine says no. The engine says rook c5 is the best move. But Captain Bill wisely slides the king back. I honestly love the move. And now Captain Bill slides the rook over. And now the pawns are going to be storming. And there is no stopping these pawns. You have 5 pawns against 3. How do you stop this if you're Katie? There is no stopping this. This game is turned on its head. King slides over for Katie. And now the king is pushing to d3. Pawn pushes to g5. A quick exchange of the pawns. King slides down to c4. And this king's going to get in here. This king will get in. Is there any hope that Katie can rescue? Any hope at all? Rook slides up to a7. Pawn pushes to e4. And this is Captain Bill's game to lose. Captain Bill could very easily lose this game if he does not maneuver in a precise manner. But it looks like when the rook can't move, the rook cannot move, period. And this king cannot get over here because of the rook. And the king's just going to slide down. Katie slides the rook down. And it looks like Captain Bill is going to reign supreme in this bout. And now the rook slides over. And there is no stopping the attack from Captain Bill. The pawn pushes. This pawn will fall. It is surrounded by a slurry of pieces. And once this pawn falls off the board, and honestly, if I'm Captain Bill, I just exchange the rooks. And this game is done, set, match. Captain Bill is going to win this one, barring a very devastating draw. But Captain Bill is too good for that. There's no possible way he draws this position. I don't see it. It appears that Captain Bill will reign supreme. And Katie now with 45 seconds on her clock. Desperately looking for an opportunity to save the position. But now the queen is blocking the pawn. The king is going to get over in time. And eventually the queen is going to start checking. And the king gets over. And the queen is going to take. And now you slide the queen up, bring the king down, and it is going to be GG's on move 59. Katie resigns. GG's to Captain Bill. GG's to Katie. Everybody in the stream chat right now tell Katie GG's. A very valiant effort. Captain Bill back in a fit of rage. All right, and we are underway for round 2, match 1 of the Full Strive Chess Tournament. We are watching from White's perspective in this round, and we are going to be in for a treat. Both of these very stellar players representing India. And it is going to be a match of the century. And just like that, we have a 4 knights, and Supra immediately sacks the knight. This is the Halloween Gambit. The balls on this man are absolutely insane. Supra playing the Halloween Gambit. He's striking with the pawn. This is absolutely unworldly. The knight's going to run out of moves. Supra strike. Oh my god. Supra with just a diabolical opening. This is called the Halloween Gambit. The knight has to retreat and the pawns are pushing. Unprecedented. Halloween in September. We have you. What are we witnessing? Supra is down an entire piece of material for a pawn. But it was meant. The Halloween Gambit. Chat. Captain Bill, please start making predictions. Captain Bill, I kindly request that you make the predictions in the chat. Let's get this underway. Can Supra, and it is a catastrophic blunder, and Supra has the lead because the pawn is, the knight is going to get here. However, Black does have a queen check, and after the queen check, it calls for bishop d2. And the knight is blundered, and Supra. Can Supra find it? The knight is hanging. And Supra finds it. The Halloween Gambit. I am at a loss of words right now. This is a diabolical start to this game. Supra showing no remorse. Sacking a knight on move 3. Unprecedented. Do not scratch your eyes for a single second. Call an ambulance. But not for Supra. This is unbelievable. And if I'm Supra, I'm honestly probably checking with the knight. Check with the knight. Check with the knight. I would probably check with the knight. Force the king to move. Best move on the board by Supra. Supra. Stellar, sound, precise, precision at its finest, has found a winning combination, and he currently sits at plus 6.7. Yes, he is only plus 1 in material, but now he is plus 5. Supra, with an exceptional, and I mean exceptional start to this game, is now currently sitting at plus 6.5 and plus 6 in material. He's got to be careful that I don't blunder your queen. Honestly, you probably slide the knight up. Oh, that's tricky, though, because then you're going to go here. Oh, my God. Wait. This could get tricky. Oh, exploring chess could have taken that because the pawn was pinned. And then Supra would have had to do something. But, oh, this is crazy. So now the knight jumps to c7. Attacking the queen. Now the queen is out of squares. No matter where the queen goes, the queen will get taken. The queen has to fall back here. That is the only square it can go. And exploring chess finds the move, and Supra is at plus 12 as it currently stands. I think the winning move here is probably bishop here eventually, right? Bishop c4. Bishop c4, the checkmate will be forced. And the only way to stop it, and Supra plays rook e1. I honestly don't hate it. What a maneuvering from Supra. This is a Hall of Fame game if I have ever seen one before. I cannot believe, I'm still at a loss. I cannot believe he sacked the knight on move 3 and he played the Halloween Gambit. By the way, Halloween Gambit review coming soon. I'm going to create a video about it because I'm very intrigued by the Halloween Gambit. A very fascinating opening. And exploring chess is on the ropes and it's plus 8 compared to like plus 5 or 6 right now because these pieces are blocking the pawns from pushing. And there's nothing you can do no matter where you go. And the king slides over now. And now if I'm Supra, I'm playing the bishop here. Best move on the board. Well done by Supra. Can Supra finish this game off in just a slight few moves? That's a good move. Giving the king some breathing room. And Supra, if I'm Supra, I'm just taking here. I'm taking right here. But instead, he sends the rook forward and the queen will have to take. And it is now mate in 7. Knight takes, pawn takes, and mate in 1 is on the board. In our move 24, Supra advances to the championship match of the Full Strive Chess Tournament. All right, and we are underway for Game 2 of Round 2 of the Full Strive Chess Tournament. And we are watching from Black's perspective, and the Evo bar will be on screen. And we are starting off very hot. This is a Modern Defense Averbach-Kotov variation. And the knight moves to e2. All right. A little annoying they didn't acknowledge, but it's fine. I like these guys personally, so it's okay. Now the pawn pushes, and now the pawn pushes back. White has a slight advantage in the position as it stands. And honestly, I would have rather knight have taken the knight here. Now it's saying take the knight. Yep, good job by Captain Bill. And this is a very even position now. White had a slight positional advantage, but in 5-minute bullet with no increment, anything is possible. So let's start dropping our predictions in the chat right now. Who do we think is going to win this match and face off against Supra in the final round? And the bishop takes back. And now, as Captain Bill in this spot, I love that move. I love that move. Stop the knight from getting here. Now, okay, so can Chess Dungeon now push this pawn and try and strike here if the pawn takes, the knight takes, and then you have threats coming all over the board? And Chess.com says that is an inaccuracy, but I see the idea here. Captain Bill is trying to just castle here, it looks like. I don't see, it says G4, best top engine move, H3 and a move, A5 it's calling for too. A5 is a crazy move. Jeez, okay. All right, so how exactly do you navigate this in this exact spot? So now the pawn pushes to F3. And apparently that was just like I said, it was a good move. It was a good move. All right, so now the bishop moves up. Captain Bill takes. Chess Dungeon takes. And now the knight's coming into attack. And the engine's saying don't take the bishop. It's saying play either b6, okay, or just take. That's fine too. Not a bad move. So now the queen is in the middle of the board. Now, if I'm Captain Bill here, I'm honestly probably thinking about getting my queen in the game and trying to get these rooks on the same file as each other so they are connected, and then trying to create some kind of threat coming down here. You have to be careful, though, because these pawns can eventually push, and Captain Bill is very weak on his king side over here. So you have to be careful and you got to watch for that. Captain Bill now with 3 minutes and 30 seconds on his clock, and he needs to start. Ooh, and I don't know if I like that move very much. Now the knight jumps in, and this is going to turn into an absolute battle here momentarily. And now the pawn pushes, trying to prevent the knight from getting here. And now Chess Dungeon responds with a pawn push of his own. Queen slides up to e7. King slides down to G2, and now the rooks double up on the F-file. And now Chess Dungeon, with a very, very quick response, also trying to double up his rooks on the F-file as well. Who is going to reign supreme? Chess Dungeon, as it stands, with a slight positional advantage, as was said earlier in the match. And now Captain Bill blunders a pawn! A pawn is being blundered! But Chess Dungeon misses it. Does Captain Bill realize the pawn is blundered? I wonder if Captain Bill could sack. Sack, take. He sacks the bishop! An unprecedented move! And how do you get out of this? I cannot believe this. LG, you did do this right. What is happening? And now the rook is going to... But this is a catastrophic blunder as well. But why? Because the queen slides down, and now the pawn is going to start pushing. The engine is an absolute roller coaster of emotions. How exactly do you get out of this? But the pawn push was ill-timed, because now the knight can escape. Oh my god, do not leave. This position is getting very, very tight. It's very claustrophobic for Captain Bill as he sacks a bishop moments ago. Unbelievable. What does Captain Bill do here? The top engine move here, it says Queen F6. You can play Queen F6. King H7 is calling for, but that is not a good move because now the knight gets in. And I am literally dying. What do you do now here? I think you have to slide the queen over now. Or actually, oh, you can't even move the... Maybe you move the queen down here. It says Queen F5. Queen H5. Rook here. Push. Pawn's pinned. And it is crippling. It is completely and utterly crippling for Captain Bill right now. Captain Bill using a slurry of time. Trying to calculate. Trying to figure out the position. Trying to rescue a draw. Anything he can possibly find to try and save the position. But as it stands, Chess Dungeon will be winning this game if Captain Bill cannot find a move and find it fast. He has 1 minute and 10 seconds on his clock. Can he find the correct calibration? He needs to go... Wait, it says Queen F5. I think I pushed there initially. Queen F5? Or Queen H5? Or Queen F5 only moves? And then you can also go Queen D8. Queen D8. Queen D8. Sorry. Oops. I know my chess notation, I swear. Captain Bill now to 45 seconds on his clock. Can he figure it out? And he finds one of the top engine moves, which is sliding the queen back. Well done, Captain Bill. But in the process, he used almost all of his time. He has almost no time left. And now the rook slides over. And that is crippling because the rook can take it, the queen cannot take back. Captain Bill is going to lose. Can you slide the rook down? It says rook takes on G4. Queen takes, but apparently that was wrong. And Captain Bill has a fighting chance here now. Slide the rook up. You have to slide the rook up. Best move on the board by Captain Bill, but he has 25 seconds on his clock, and he gets no bonus time. Now the knight moves back. Is there even a sliver of hope for Captain Bill? Check. Delivered. Captain Bill collects another pawn. Check. And it is a dead position. It is deadlocked. Captain Bill is resting the position, but he has 16 seconds to calibrate something. Can he find it? Desperately pleading with the position. Trying to find anything. 10 seconds on his clock. It is a matter of seconds before Chess Dungeon moves on to the championship match. And the pawn push is ill-timed. Chess Dungeon is going to get his king in now. And it's over. It's over. Chess Dungeon delivers mate in 1 on move 51 because Captain Bill, low on time, cannot find the rescuing moves to salvage a draw. Unbelievable game. Ladies and gentlemen, we are underway for the final match of the full Strive Chess tournament. Due to a complication in our previous round, we have Captain Bill playing in the final match. Unfortunately, our good friend Chess Dungeon could not participate in the final match, so Captain Bill, by default, will be facing off against Supra in the final round for glory, for status. And we are underway. We have Bishop to G2 played. Who is going to engrave their name in full Strive tournament history? Supra looking for his first ever full Strive tournament victory, while Captain Bill is looking for I believe he has one as it stands, one or two. I'm pretty sure he has one or two. And full respect to these two players, very, very valiant efforts from both of them. And we are going to see who exactly is going to reign as our champion. And white castles on move 7, a very principled structure. Well done by white. I like getting your king into safety. I also like that Supra is also trying to get his king into safety. And now the queen slides up, and this is a slight inaccuracy from Captain Bill, because now the knight gets in. This pawn is going to be covered by the queen and the knight completely. So we got to be very, very careful here as we progress here. So pawn pushes here. I like that move. And now the top engine move is calling for bishop b5 or bishop f5 right here. But that's a tricky move. I like that move too. I think that move's okay. Just like how gives it a slight inaccuracy, but I honestly don't hate it. I think it is perfectly a-okay. Now the pawn pushes to b3. And now the knight just comes in to strike. And now the queen has to move. The queen has to move. I'm thinking you perhaps slide the queen back maybe. Because, yeah, engine says queen d1, top engine move. Queen b1 a move. And queen b2. Queen b2 would be really bad, though. Okay, so top engine move found by Captain Bill. Well done by Captain Bill. And now Supra has a knight on this file. I'm thinking Captain Bill is eventually going to probably push this pawn here and try and kick the knight out. Try and create some issues. Ooh, but I wonder if Supra could play knight to d3. A very powerful move that could be. Oh, but now, ooh, and we are getting all kinds of different. And now the knight, I can't even talk. Now the knight moves in. This is a very, very powerful knight because the pawn is blocking the queen's vision of the knight. This knight is also pinned to the rook. And now how exactly does Captain Bill navigate? Well done by Captain Bill. I love that. Getting the knight back, trying to get the knight off this file. Because like I said, this knight is very, very powerful and it is very difficult to get him out of that sequence. So he takes the knight, and now the pawn is going to be forced to take back. I honestly don't really like Supra's position any longer. Yes, this pawn is very, very good as it looks. But it's isolated. And eventually it's going to prove to be a liability. Now, moving the bishop up, I honestly don't mind that move in the slightest. Kitty is now crashing out. This is amazing. Okay, and so now black castles. I really like that move personally. And so, all right, so now what does white do exactly here? Slides the rook over to b1. Okay. And now the bishop comes down to g3. And now you don't take the bishop here in this. Oh, the engine actually says take the bishop. Knight a4 or take the bishop. Top two engine moves. The top engine move is taking the bishop here. Wow. But that's really scary because now the queen's going to be in here creating all kinds of crazy, creepy threats. Creepy threats. Shout out Howling Gambit. Well done by Captain Bill. He finds the top engine move. But Captain Bill uses a little bit of time in the process. And so now he needs to be a little more fast in his maneuvering of his pieces as we progress in this game. Now, after his next move, I honestly think Captain Bill should move his knight here to defend this bishop, doing his best to, oh my god, and now white is winning because his pawn is now blundered. Captain Bill has a free pawn opportunity. Not even just a free pawn, it's going to be a free double pawn until the rook hits over and then defends that pawn. So now after the knight takes back, and honestly, I don't even think Supra should take the knight. Ooh, he takes the bishop. But Captain Bill takes with check. And Captain Bill, as it stands, is up one piece of material as it currently stands. However, he had an opportunity to get even more pressure coming in. And the engine didn't like him trading that piece down here. But let's see how this one ends. So now the rook slides over to e8. Rook slides over to c1. Now how... Okay, so very, very tight. Very, very tight. You also can't double the rooks up here too because that pawn is so powerful. I'm thinking you need to probably get the queen here. Okay, it says rook bb1. Captain Bill votes, vouches for pushing the pawn. And now Captain Bill has the advantage. Can Captain Bill seal this one off and finish the game in style? I don't think you can move your queen here yet. Now, Supra is completely and utterly on the ropes. And it looks like the queen is actually trapped. The queen is trapped. An unprecedented, unexpected turn of events. I did not even see that for 1 second. Captain Bill finding the perfect maneuvering. Takes the queen. A very, very well done and very well timed move. And Supra is on the ropes. This is officially and completely Captain Bill's game to lose. Can he finish this game off in style? You're going to have to wait to find out. Supra slides the rook down. This pawn is going to fall now. A very, very critical blow to Supra's position. And as it stands, it's looking like Captain Bill is going to reign victorious and win this one. He wasn't even supposed to be here. They told him he was not worthy. But here he is, clashing with one of the top Discord members in the Full Stride Chess server. Super desperately trying to slide the rook over. If I'm Captain Bill, I'm honestly just probably sliding my rook here. But wait, there is in fact a better move. Queen check delivered on d7, collecting the rook, and it is officially mate in 15. No one in their right mind is going to find mate in 15, though, so honestly, if I'm Captain Bill, I'm probably just cleaning up the position. Oh my god. Captain Bill with an absolutely exquisite touch. Pawn takes on e3. Pawn takes back on e3, coming from the d file. Rook slides over to h5, and Supra is going to lose on move 33 via checkmate by Captain Bill. Captain Bill is our tournament champion. Alrighty guys, thank you all so much for watching to the end. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and tell me what your elo is, your rapid, your blitz, your bullet. I want to know. Tell me in the comments down below. And if you want to participate in a tournament just like this one, all you have to do is join our Discord server. The link is going to be in the description down below. All you got to do is click that, hop in, and we also have daily checkmates, a chess dojo, a chess rank system, and a bunch of other awesome stuff that I think will really help you elevate your chess and get you to where you want to be as a chess player. If that sounds like something you would enjoy, I highly recommend you check it out. And also, if you enjoyed this video, you might also enjoy this video. This video was very fun to make, and pull my hand back just a little bit, and I think you'll find it very, very interesting. So guys, thank you all once again for so much support. I lost my words there. And watching. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace.